My understanding of colors has improved in 27 days. I have learned 7 principles of color in order to achieve 3 goals. In this video, I'll share what I've learned about color. When I used to paint in the past, I simply put attractive colors together. I didn't understand the underlying logic. I was just following a template. Of course, this resulted in dull colors. After acquiring these 7 color principles, I made this progress within 27 days. If you have faced the same issue, this video can help you. The video will be divided into 2 parts. Color theory, my painting process using these theories. Color temperature balance and color compensation. There are 2 color combinations. Which one appears more balanced? It's the one on the left, isn't it? The power of different color temperatures varies, and this is determined by wavelength. Longer wavelengths tend to grab more attention, but in a composition, we aim for color balance. An ideally balanced composition would follow this equation. Achieving balance in an ideal scenario involves color compensation. We can observe this in paintings by these artists. Typically, only the focal points have more high saturation warm colors. Colors with more intensity require less intense colors to compensate. Characteristics of light coloration. We've all learned this from physics class. White light shining on a red object reflects red light, while a black object absorbs all light. White objects are fully colored by light. Using this principle, we can add rich, cool colors to light-colored objects, which makes sense optically because light-colored objects are more receptive to being colored. In a blue sky environment, they appear to take on a grayish blue. In the late afternoon, they may take on an orange. Color range and color transitions. These 2 principles have almost solved all my color scheme issues. When we observe the works of these masters, we can see that their color ranges typically fall within 180 degrees of the color wheel. People often describe colors as warm or cool, but this terminology isn't entirely accurate. A theme color represents a distinct color range. Limiting the color range is essential for establishing a theme. These natural landscapes all have a theme color. This constraint enhances expression and allows for conveying emotions more effectively. Color transitions. Yellow and purple placed together create a strong contrast because they are the farthest apart on the color wheel. If we transition sequentially on the color wheel, colors will harmonize much better. Colors that are closer together on the color wheel blend more harmoniously, and vice versa. Gray is a versatile color that harmonizes with all other colors. For instance, there can be excessive contrast between a highly saturated ground and shadow. Adding gray at the transition point can create a smoother gradient. With just these 4 simple principles, you can create appealing color combinations. If we push color transitions further, we can consider color rhythm when adding more intricate colors. Rhythm is achieved through variation. This illustration contains numerous colors, but when converted to black and white, it doesn't have many details. It's simply variations in color. When enriching colors, we should not disrupt the value. I use 2 color selection methods to avoid this. Shifting the color wheel. RGB sliders. I've seen many YouTube videos discussing this. If you were to place 100% pure yellow and blue together, their values would differ when viewed in black and white mode because they are the farthest apart on the color wheel. However, if they are neighboring colors, the difference would be minimal. Most colors in an illustration are essentially grayscale, and in grayscale, the differences in value can be nearly negligible. Alternatively, you can use RGB color panel. I use this method to paint hair, which has rich colors on it, but the value doesn't change. Emotional impact of the illustration. Expressing emotions in an image involves not only the theme color, but also another influencing factor, which is value. Let's take a look at paintings from before and during the Impressionist era, converting them to black and white. In Impressionist paintings, the contrast in values tends to be lower. Low contrast values provide more room for expressing colors and emotions. So, how to use these principles? 2 fundamental methods. 1. Inferring a color scheme. 2. Basic CG lighting and shading process. We start with a primary color, and several other colors support it. This forms the foundation of a basic color scheme. How can we derive more colors from this scheme? The principle is still the transition of colors. We can find more colors between these existing colors. By continuing this method, we can create a complete artwork. Basic CG lighting and shading process. Step 1. Inherent colors. Step 2. Background light and direct light. Step 3. Use highly saturated colors to outline the boundaries between light and shadow. Employ the principle of color transition to find a color that resides between the shadow and highlight colors, then increase its saturation. Apply a slight gradient in the shadowed areas using an airbrush. Step 4. Add details. The choice of colors for details follows a principle. It still relies on the inference method mentioned earlier. I start with lines, emphasizing contours, and creating some turning surfaces in certain areas. Emphasizing contours with lines adds a decorative aspect that I prefer in this style. Then I continue to add details, pushing further inside. There are slight strokes and variations that give a sense of thickness, different from a purely flat animation style. I'm quite happy with this result. I've completed a training cycle: composition, perspective, anatomy, color. Unfortunately, I didn't use all the knowledge I've learned in this artwork. In the next stage, I'll revisit composition, learn more about shapes, and delve into character design. I'll continue to share what I learn. Thank you for watching.